I'm Heyzeus, and this video is about how CSGO ended up with a far deeper, and in my view better, skin system than any other game. Now, skins are a pretty widespread way of generating money. Some people understand how to do it well, others tend to be a massive laughingstock, but what they all have in common is that they make your in-game weapons or outfit look different. But sometimes they also have a lot more than that, and in fact, CSGO kind of has all of this. It's market-based, it's got trading, it's got crafting, it's got loot boxes designed to facilitate this market for better or worse, and the skins have lots of features that make them quite interesting and tie in to those four previous things like rarity tiers, patterns, wear values, and collections. And on top of that, the skins themselves also make extremely good use of the fact that the weapon is so large on the screen in the game. They tend to be very detailed and artistically quite well designed as items. Now, there are lots of games that have some of these features, but none have all of them. And for me, it's this diversity of things that all seem to tie together that makes CSGO easily have the most interesting set of skins attached to a game out there. And you might agree, you might disagree with that. And I'm not actually going to try and make an extended case for my position here because, frankly, it's subjective. And instead, I'm going to try and explain something slightly different. I'm going to explain why CSGO has ended up with such interesting skins and why all the different aspects appear to link into each other in the subtle way that makes you think it might have been planned in advance. Now, I've drawn up a graph explaining why we ended up with this system. Basically, Valve's motives were money, and money, but in yellow. And it really is in yellow, by the way, I'll get to that. But obviously, I need to elaborate a little bit here. This is kind of simplistic, and the good news is, I don't even need to speculate, because one of the designers behind skins has very explicitly laid out why skins were made the way they were. So let's let her explain what the philosophy was.
That doesn't encourage interactions in which players both feel they're getting the better end of the deal.
Actually, that's not there to explain. That doesn't really make sense unless you watch the entire hour-long video. Instead, I might try and summarize things. So basically, the starting premise of making skins was actually to create an economy. And by the way, that is literally what she calls it.
Our customers generate a huge amount of value for each other just by participating in the game. We want to encourage them to keep doing that. In Valve products like Dota 2 and Team Fortress 2, we found that a great way to help meet all of these goals at once is to add an economy to the game.
So the idea of a skins economy existing isn't some pretentious twaddle. The idea comes from Valve itself. It was one way in which they hoped to keep people playing the game. And pretty much everything can be traced back to how they tried to do this, because making an economy is actually more complicated than just having items, and I'll let the Valve lady elaborate a bit further here.
We know that economies are more fun when there are more people participating. They're also more fun when there are lots of items to compare and lots of different ways to compare them. So we didn't want to just create items with a broad range of value, we also wanted to create items that could be valued in different ways.
Okay, so items that could be valued in different ways. This is where we start to get to the important stuff. Now, the talk goes through how they settled on making weapon skins and the technical aspects of that, and then it gets to this slide. Now, I'll let Valve Lady explain what this slide is.
There's plenty of academic discussion on the dimensions of luxury goods. I've collected together just a few of them that we can use to identify what might contribute to the value of items in the economy.
And she's going to go through them one by one, and this is not necessary for us. I'm just going to tell you what they are because it's things you'll recognize. So we'll change the title, we'll change that to things that make skins valuable, and the first item, conspicuousness, is just the type of weapon the skin is on. So, you know, knives versus AKs versus Glocks, it affects the value of the skin. Second item, heritage and personal history, is just the status of guns in past games. So that one's not as important now. Scarcity and uniqueness refers to tiers of rarity, so covert skins versus classified skins versus restricted skins, and also things like weapon patterns, so blue gems, for example. Excellent quality just means the wear of the skin, so whether it's factory new, minimal wear, field tested, etc. And aesthetics just refers to how good looking the skin is, or in particular, how colourful it is. And do these look familiar to anyone? Because if you ask me what the basic features of skins are, well, these are essentially the things that I'd list, and as we can see, these were things that were added very intentionally by Valve to make skins valuable. It wasn't an accident. Now, there's another aspect to this design. Valve wanted certain skins to do better and worse in each of these categories so that different skins could have different value to different people, allowing trades to be a win-win because both parties are getting something they wanted. And they even had a visual representation of it here, so you can see the different types of value pulling in different directions. And for the most part, this, design worked. But there are a couple of things that didn't go the way that Valve planned them. And Valve Lady explains this as well. Firstly, they thought that battle-scarred items would be highly desirable. Obviously, that's not the case, unless you're talking about stuff like Blaximovs anyway. Secondly, they thought that colourful skins would be unpopular, legit. They thought that people would prefer the plainer, more military-style skins over the colourful covert and classified skins. In fact, the whole reason for making more colourful skins rarer was to balance things out, because they thought that the colourful skins wouldn't be very popular and figured that by being rarer, this would give people a reason to buy them even if they didn't like the way they looked.
If you looked at our content, you'd assume that we understood this right from the start and decided to put the bright items at the top of our quality tiers because we thought they had the most value. Actually, that wasn't what we were thinking. It was a risk mitigation strategy. We were genuinely worried that people wouldn't like the bright items. So instead of thinking of these as being sorted by value, we originally sorted them by risk.
That obviously seems funny today because it turned out to be so completely and utterly wrong, but this made for an opportunity all of its own, and that's where we get onto the money, but in the yellow part of things. So, from the very beginning, the designers always intended for there to be a system by which the community could submit skin designs to the game.
We also shipped an in-game tool for creating finishes that we call the Workbench. It allows the community to author weapon finishes for themselves and upload them to the community workshop. We've already started shipping some of the highest rated items, letting our community express their aesthetic preferences directly by just putting the things they make right into the game.
And if you've heard what sort of payouts skin designers get when their items are added, well, it's a lot more than any artist working for a games company would get. And as we now know, people like their colourful, detailed skins. They really like them. In fact, it's why the colourfulness and level of detail on skins seems to have been progressively ramped up. But here's the problem for the developer. How do you do this? Because not only do you have to pay for talented artists to make these skins for you, you've got to make sure that they're the skins that actually reflect what the community want, which is not just expensive and time consuming, but also challenging to get right. So how do you make that happen? Oh yeah, the system that Valve literally invented to make that happen, which gives a massive monetary incentive to talented artists in the community to make skins, which the community then rates so Valve can see what people like. Problem solved. Valve has literally made the skins that the community wants come to them, and all they have to do at that point is package them in one of these yellow cases. See, there's the yellow. I told you it'd come back into things. And surprise, surprise, this has all made Valve a lot of money. Like $400 to $500 million last time I tried to calculate it. But it's been on the back of something that's been approached by the developer as a lot more than just a quick cash-in. They've really tried to make it something that adds value to the game. And in all honesty, what really defines the skin system to me in CSGO is the level of innovation behind it. I still don't think there's any other system out there with anywhere near as much depth. And I really wonder if there's ever going to be. It's been 6 years now, and I still don't think anything comes close, which is a real pity in some respects, because personally, I think there's a lot other games stand to benefit from if they really tried to properly copy some of the finer details of Valve's model here. But you know what? At least we have it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.